Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am McAlphanim. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you could, please click that like button, turn it into a rocket, and send it into the stratosphere. So I'm on the Stellar Development Foundation's website. They have just posted a new article, and it is about their Q2 in review. All right. And Stellar has done a lot of very, very wonderful things. They continue to do good business. So let's just jump into this right here. Stellar Development Foundation made 2 enterprise fund investments in tribal credit and AirTM for a total of $18 million in Q2. The AirTM investment of $15 million is our largest investment to date. And of course, they're going to get a lot out of that. More prestige comes to Stellar for working with more companies. You have more use cases. And as people see the effectiveness of using the Stellar blockchain and the XLM protocol, it will make it even more tempting for more businesses to pick it up, nations to utilize Stellar, banks to utilize Stellar. It shears up their confidence, builds up their confidence in the protocol just that much more. What does that do for us? It increases our hundreds of thousands of dollars we're going to make from XLM as holders, millions of dollars as holders of the Lumen. Okay, so all of this is very good. Let's continue on here. Upon convening Ukrainian financial institutions with blockchain and virtual assets experts, SDF accepted an invitation to become a member of the Association of Ukrainian Banks. This was muy linda, mi gente. This was a very, very good thing for Stellar's further legitimization. Other countries see this, other banks see this. Now they're connected to a myriad of banks in that particular sector and will be acting as an advisor and member of their Council of Banks. We covered this in another video. And once we have regulatory clarity, this guarantees that the price of Stellar is going to have a parabolic run. If people were doubters before, even with all of the information laid out from the IBM Worldwire, I released that video, all of the different investments, all of the different governments that are talking about utilizing Stellar and running pilot programs on the blockchain. If you still had doubts after all of that, then something like this definitely should remove a lot of the doubt that was in your mind that Stellar is going to have an insane run. Okay, so let's continue on here. Data shows Stellar's positive trajectory towards usability and robustness. We have seen a Q2 Y over Y year over year increase in total accounts plus 20%. So even though we're in a correction, we've seen some sideways price action for a little bit of time. But even with that, we have increased accounts by 20%. That tells you there's a lot of new interest in Stellar Lumens. Now, what happens when regulatory clarity is kicked in and all of those major movers of capital are starting to let all that capital loose and flow through Stellar Lumens? What does it do to that price? I think we all know that price is going to take off like a rocket ship, and I can't wait. That price is going to raise it tall. It's going to raise. And I'm very excited about that. Let's continue on. Let's continue forward here. So year over year increase in total accounts plus 20%. Total payments plus 160% increase on total payments. I must admit, I paid a few things with Stellar and moved some Stellar around. It is a wonderful system to use, in my opinion. Right next to Algorand. Algorand right now, as far as actually utilizing their system, I love Algorand the most. I love XLM second most. But as far as functionality and what is appealing to banks for central bank digital currencies and national currencies, I think Stellar is the favorite in my opinion. But they're all great protocols that are going to be working together interoperably as I'm believing one system, right? So let's continue on. But that's a heck of an increase. Plus 160% increase in total payments. Imagine what the future holds for Stellar. Let's continue on. Average daily DEX volume is up plus 27%. And total operations processed plus 173%. This is We haven't even taken into account from the last review, we were already doing extremely well. But now we see that the upward trajectory is continuous as of now. As of now, it's continuous. We have continued to move in an upward trajectory, which is very good for us holders of lumens, especially with regulatory clarity so close at hand. And we have a lot of important dates coming up. There, July 28th, I believe, is an important date coming up. And then also there is something from the judge in the SEC case. I believe that they have a certain thing that is supposed to be happening, a deposition of sorts, maybe by September, or is it November, something like that. So there are a lot of important events coming up that could provide regulatory clarity. And once that happens, the floodgates will be open like you have never seen before. And I believe that we have never seen anything like what is to come. That's what I believe. Because there has never been banking money flowing through crypto before. So anything we've seen with Bitcoin, Ethereum, I believe is nothing compared to what is to come. I've been saying this since earlier in the year. But now that I see what's going on with certain governing bodies, and I'm hearing what's going on in the European Union with their sort of frictions they're having within their governmental systems, with the banking, the central banking systems, and the dominance that the idea of interoperability is having in those particular systems with the governing agents of those systems and how it's being pushed. It makes me just that much more confident in the raising of those prices to be something that is absolutely mind-blowing that no one will ever see coming. I don't think we'll ever see anything like this again. Should it happen, because nothing is guaranteed in life, right? I like to be realistic. But should it happen, and it's highly feasible, there's a high probability of these things happening, you will never see anything like this again. You will be so, those holders of these particular protocols will be so mind-blowingly rich. It'll be disgustingly delicious. All right, let's continue on here. In addition, there was a 58% increase in relevant assets. 58% increase in relevant assets is unbelievable. Unbelievable. They're doing very well. This is very good. Assets tethered to a real financial instrument like fiat or stocks from Q2 2020 to Q2 2021. This accounted for an astounding 760% year-over-year growth in on-network transaction volume for these relevant assets. And I'm going to throw in there, once again, this is without regulatory clarity. This is without banking money flowing through Stellar. 760% without any of that. And I have to juxtapose that against all of the people that are constantly spreading the FUD that Stellar is a bad coin, a bad hold. Look at the growth. If you have eyes to see beyond the superficial, beyond the tiny little market manipulation of the so-called whales, who will be no whales in the future compared to banks. The banks will show you what a real whale is. When it splashes, the ocean seems to move. When the banking system gets involved, sky's the limit. However, 760% year-over-year growth in on-network transaction volume is unbelievable and is very good. Very good, which would tell a holder of lumens, in my humble opinion, this is a good long-term hold. Now, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just sharing with you my thoughts that I would have, whether I did the video or not. I just love crypto. I love to read about it, love to research it. And I'm going to be holding no matter what until I reach my price targets, and then I will sell. However, until that time, I know for a fact lumens is a good long-term hold, just like Algorand and XRP and Cello. And of course, to round them all out, VeChain, in my opinion, my humble opinion. Let's continue on here. They had 2 protocol upgrades that were implemented. Protocol 16 helped all nodes affected by the April 6, 2021 incident, and Protocol 17, which introduced a new feature, the asset clawback, which was major. That's very good as well. At the beginning of the quarter, the Stellar Community Fund Seed round wrapped by awarding 8 projects, a total of 5 million XLM in late June. That's also very good, with over 40 projects having already applied. That's a lot of interest in utilizing the Stellar blockchain. So this is very good because these businesses might wind up using the Stellar blockchain, whether they were funded by the Stellar Development Foundation or not, which is always good for us users, holders of Lumens, because any usage of it can lend to that price raising up in the future. And that is what we want. We're here to make money, are we not? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So every little bit of use of Stellar is good for us. Now let's continue on here. SDF continued to engage and grow the community by releasing Stellar Quest Series 3, surpassing all expectations with over 1,500 developers completing challenges. 1,500 developers utilizing Stellar. That is extremely good. Extremely good. So right now, we've reached the end of this particular article. Everything is looking good. Everything is going right according to plan so far. We're waiting on regulatory clarity. I'm sure more developments will be coming out. There will be lots of interesting things to talk about. And we will be covering everything here on the channel. As you know, I'll try to keep you updated and give you the latest information and data, anything that I can bring that will be of assistance or help. You know I'm going to be here to share it. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm hoping the price goes even lower. I'm hoping the price goes even lower. This is not a joke. Listen, the more Stellar I can accumulate, the better. That's how I feel. This is an accumulation phase. I don't see anything negative about any of this because I'm a long-term holder. I'm an AHAB hunter. The banks haven't stepped in yet. This is the perfect time for a correction because there hasn't been regulatory clarity yet. We're not missing out on anything yet. The banking money hasn't made that price go so high that it's difficult to buy a significant amount of lumens, right? So before all of that regulatory clarity happens, I am open to any correction and any dip that could possibly happen. And I will buy as much as I can, even whether it's a little or a lot, it doesn't matter. I'm buying. I'm trying to buy. And that's just personally what I'm doing. I am not telling you to do that. I'm not using any type of funds that could be damaging to me. All right. So never, I can't tell you what to do, but I don't suggest using any funds to buy anything that's going to be damaging to you by losing that capital. But I'm just telling you what I'm going to be doing. Every correction that happens before, every dip that happens before regulatory clarity is a gift to accumulate more. Before those prices go through the roof, so much money is going to be made, in my humble opinion, is going to be ridiculous. And I'm preparing for it as much as I possibly can. I am not going to miss this train. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.